Looking forward to an exciting and fantastic call tonight. And you know why? Because this is really, really important stuff. And we're going to get to that in a second. But I wanted to say hi in person, and got a saying here that we got in our office right now. Can you read that one? It says, life is too short to be anything but what? Happy! Woo! So I'll see you at the end of the call. Let's have some fun. Bye for now. Okay, here we go. So, again, I'm very excited that you're here. I'm very excited that I'm here. I'm very excited that you're alive. I'm very excited that I'm alive. And I am here to welcome you to the very next edition of T.R. Becker's Secrets of a Spiritual Millionaire. So I hope you're doing amazing today. I hope you are ready to go. Again, I want to first of all, congratulate you for being on today's webinar. And again, as I mentioned last week, the more you participate, the more you're involved, the more you're going to learn. And the more you learn, what's going to happen? The more you know, the more you learn, what's going to happen? I want you to write down what's going to happen. The more you learn, the more you know, what will happen? The more you grow, the more you earn, right? The more you earn, of course, the more successful you become. Now, just listen to this, guys. Everyone listen very closely. I talk about this when I'm doing my live seminars a lot because you have to understand something. That, you know, your success is generally a function of two things. What are they? Your knowledge and your ability to utilize that knowledge. Yes or yes. Okay? So you have to have certain knowledge. You have to have the ability to use the knowledge. The more knowledge you have, what do you now have? More what? Choices, more what? More strategies, more ways of doing things that you may not have had before. Does that make sense? So it's very important that you understand that the more you learn, the more you earn if you put it to that use, if you actually do what you're supposed to do. And, you know, we can make it as simple as we want to make it, and it's good to make it simple. There are a lot of moving parts to success. I think you know that. You can simplify it, and we will simplify it, but there are a lot of moving parts. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. But one of the biggest things here is that you have to understand that you need to know more. The more you know, the more choices you've got, the more strategies you can take advantages of. All right. So before we go into this week's topic, I have a really important question for you. Did you do your homework? It's part of the structure of the program. And I believe, you know, I teach thousands and thousands and thousands of people how to train. And a lot of people do it in several ways, but there's two ways to train. One is with heavy-duty structure, and the other is with complete freedom. Now, which way do you think is best? What's better, structure or complete freedom? Which one is best? That's my opinion, the combination. Let me tell you what I believe is important. You structure it first, and then within the structure, you have freedom. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Now, do you agree? First of all, do you agree that you set up a structure, and within that structure, you have freedom? Let me see if you agree. Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? Let me see. Agree, agree, agree. Good. Then you will understand when we talk about tonight about money management exactly how it works. You create a structure, and within that structure, you have freedom. Thank you very much. Okay, so now, did you do your homework from last week? And what was the homework? Oh my God, what was the homework? Well, it was simply repeating the big mantra, I create wealth with balance and joy, and doing that 3 times each, 3 times a set, and 5 times in different times of the day. So first of all, let's see who did their homework. I want you to write the word all, if you did it as instructed, for all 7 days and you didn't miss. Go ahead. Put all if you did that. If you did it partly, I want you to put some. And if you didn't do it at all, I just want you to put none. It's okay. I'm not here to judge you, just here to coach you. Okay. So good. Congratulations to those of you who did all of it. And kind of congratulations for those of you who did some of it. You know what? You get some congratulations. Instead of going, woohoo, I'm just going to go, woo. Okay? All right, you did some of it, you get, whoo. But it's better than nothing. Okay. All right, good job. So now, let me say this again. How you do anything is how you do what? How you do anything is how you do what? Everything, 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 everything. And here's the deal, my friends. Let me ask you this question. If you're not going to put 100% into this program, then what percent do you think you're going to get out of it? What percent do you think you're going to get out of the program if you're not going to put 100% in? I can tell you what percent it's going to be. It's going to be the exact percent that you put in is what you're going to get out. That is the law of the universe, isn't it? That is the law of spirit. That is the law of what we hear as karma, yes? How many have ever heard this saying, as you sow, so shall you reap? As you sow, so shall you reap. All right, tell me if you heard this one. What you give is what you get. What you give is what you get. All right, so you understand. Now, what you have to understand here and recognize here is that even though you, at least the highest wisdom part of you, knows this is the law, that what you sow, so shall you reap, what you give is what you get, you know that's the law. There is a certain part of you that will convince you that this law does not pertain to you, or at least in this case or for this reason. Do you understand? Understand? So what part of you is that that's going to try and convince you that it's not what you give is what you get. Not right now, it's not. It's not what you sow is what you will reap. It's not really that right now. Which part of you is going to try and convince you that, thank you, very good, the little voice, the subconscious, your mind, absolutely, the fearful part, my ego, very good, you got it. So it's not just your mind though, it's a part of your mind. Someone's got to protect the mind. It's your conditioned mind. The part of you, conditioned, remember programmed, the part of you that runs based on old ways and old habits and old programming and old conditioning, old stuff. The part of you that is based in survival. By the way, whose survival is it based in? Whose survival is it based in? Its own. Its survival, your ego mind, your conditioned mind, survival is based on its survival, not your survival. Sorry, its survival. You're just part of it as far as it's concerned. It's not a part of you. You're a part of it. I hope you understand that. And you know how it does this? You know what? To keep in survival. Do you know what it does? Its favorite strategy is to keep things the same, to keep things familiar. And that's why, even though we say we want different results, we want our life to change, this conditioned part of you doesn't want your life to change. It wants everything to be the same. It wants things to be familiar. How many of you have heard of this saying, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that as long as things are familiar, your ego, your conditioned mind is happy. It doesn't matter that you're struggling. It doesn't, because, you know, if struggle is familiar to your ego mind, then fine, no problem. It's fine with that. But here's the thing, my friends. Let's get back to this homework. You see, the homework was the declarations. And the issue is that if what is familiar is not doing these declarations, not doing your homework, not doing them, right? Then that's what your ego mind, your conditioned mind will want you to do. Not do it. Not do it. And you know what? This is why most people don't have the success they want. They listen to and they believe this old conditioned voice, the unsupportive, unsuccessful mind that says it's okay to miss one day. It's okay to miss one time. It's okay to not do this. What is the big deal about, now listen to my voice, by the way. What is the big deal with doing these stupid mantras? What's the big, you know what? A lot of people have gotten very successful without doing these mantras. I don't need to do these mantras. Okay, they're silly. And besides, I don't have the time for it. And you know what? There's other things I do. Now, what voice does that sound like? You know what voice it sounds like? It sounds like a freaking loser's voice. And that's your conditioned mind. That is the part of you that is not working for you. The part of you that you are listening to its advice, you are believing it. Are you kidding me? Here's a question for you. Hey, how's it working so far? Why are you on this call? Well, I guess because you want to do a little better than you've been doing. That's why I would be on it if I was you. And that means I might be open to doing something different. Now, here's the thing about doing something different. You have to understand something. I have over 1 million students. And a lot of the ways that we're working with you here are kind of, let's call it, being underneath the ground, underground. And what I'm doing right now with these mantras is not just about giving you some positive words to say to yourself and hopefully ingraining you. It's not. You know what I'm doing with it? You know, part of it is giving you this freaking homework in order for you, listen closely now, to break up the pattern of not doing something. Okay? I want to break up your pattern. And what that means is that I am simply telling you, giving you something to do that will break up your old conditioned pattern. And when you break up your pattern, do you know what you make room for? Do you know what you make space for when you break up your old ways? You make space for, and here it is, listen closely, you make space for spirit and higher consciousness to enter within you, to be not just a background to your life, but something that is in the foreground of your life. You make space for spirit by changing up what you do and opening yourself up to something different. You understand? You need to create space. So I want you to write these words, please. I create space for spirit. I create space for spirit. I create space for spirit. And the way you create space for spirit is by what? Breaking up the old pattern. Breaking up the old pattern so you're not just a steel box, doing exactly the same thing all the time, just whatever's in your comfort zone. Now, how many of you learned something very valuable just now about spirit? You see, it's there, but you need to make space for it. And you shut it out by just keep on doing exactly the same thing again and again and again and again. There's no adventure. There's nothing new. Newness is spirit. Okay. So today's topic is money and money management. And again, this is one of the biggest problems so many people have in their lives. And people say, you know, in my courses all the time when we'd say, okay, you know, what issues do you have around money management? They say things, well, I hate budgeting. I hate budgeting and trying to manage my money. It feels like I'm being strangled. I don't know how many of you feel like that. Or, hey, most money management systems are just way too complicated. I'm not a number person. I'm not a detailed person. How about this one? You know what? I want to save money, but I also want to keep my lifestyle. What do I do about that? How many relate? How many relate? Very good. Very good. How about this one? Well, I want to invest and create passive income, but how do I do that when I'm just struggling to pay the bills? I don't have any money for that. How about this one? You know, I've racked up a lot of debt. Why would I be managing my money? First, I have to take care of my debt, right? See, let me see if you relate to this. You know, how about this one? Here's a big question people have. They say, you know, I don't earn a lot of money. Can I ever be financially free? Can you relate? Can you relate? So like I said, this is a big challenge for most people, and I want to start by opening up the discussion with a question a lot of you might be asking. And here's the question. This is a really great question. Listen closely. Harv, what does the topic of managing money have to do with spirituality? Isn't the name of this program T. Harv Eker's Secrets of a Spiritual Millionaire? You know, what, managing money and spirituality? What gives, man? There's nothing there. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story right now that may be one of the most important stories you have ever heard in your entire life, and I kid you not. One of the most important stories you have ever heard or you will ever hear in your life. And I'm not kidding you. I didn't set you up. I'm going to prove to you in a moment that this may be one of the most important stories and examples you have ever heard in your life. And now, why would I know that? Well, because I have over 1 million students. And I can kind of tell when I'm on stage and I say something and I tell something and I can hear a pin drop. And I see people with their mouths open and they're nodding and going, OMG, I had no idea. Okay? All right, here we go. Imagine for just a moment that you're walking down the street and you are with a 5-year-old child. And you see an ice cream store. So because you want to be nice, of course, you go into the ice cream store and you order the child a single scoop of ice cream on a cone because they just don't happen to have cups there. And you give it to him or her, okay? But because the kid's hands are very small, they're barely, it's kind of wobbling. And as they walk out the door hits their arm and the ice cream falls out of the cone and onto the ground. And the child gets upset and starts to cry. So what do you do? What do you do? I'm asking you what you do. Here it is. Listen closely. Well, of course, being a kind and generous person that you are, loving person, you go back in the store. And just as you're about to order the child another scoop of ice cream, the child looks up at the sign and sees a picture of the triple scooper and says, I want that, as they point to the triple scooper. Now, again, I have a question for you. Being a kind and loving and generous person that you are, do you now get them the triple scooper or not? Yes or no? Well, here's the way it works. Listen closely. Do you get them the triple scooper? Some of you would, but why? Why would you set them up to fail? They couldn't even handle 1 scoop. What are you going to give them, 3 scoops? Are you kidding me? And it's specifically because you are kind and generous. Because you're kind and generous that you would not do this to them. Because you care for them and you love them, you wouldn't set them up to fail. Now, even though they would whine and they would cry, you'd say, and they complain, you say, honey, I love you. And here's the way it goes. When you are good at handling 1 scoop, I will very, very happily get you 2 scoops. And when you are good at handling 2 scoops, I will get you 3 scoops. Does this make sense to anyone who's listening right now? So all you're saying is show me that you can handle what you have now, and I'll give you more. All right? And this is exactly the same when it comes to you and your money and spirit. Because the universe is kind and loving, and therefore it will not give you more than you can handle, including the area of money. And even if you whine and you cry and you intend and you visualize and do all those wonderful things and go, give me more, give me more, give me more, the universe says, why should I give you more? Look what you did with what I already gave it. What I gave to you, you dropped it, you got rid of it, or most of it. Let me say this, until you show that you can handle what you've already got, you won't get any more, or at least much more. That, my friends, is the number 1 reason most people do not have more money. The universe is looking at you and going, what? I gave you 1 scoop and you blew it, you got rid of it on the ground, you wasted it. Why would I give you more? Why would I do that? I'm not giving you more. Show that you can handle what I've given you, and I would love to give you more. So this is why managing your money, I'm going to use another word now, being a good steward with what you've been given is essential to having and getting more. Now, I want you to let me know that you understood what I said. That you understood what I said. Do you understand how this works on a spiritual level? This is the most important thing you can get. It's not about, dealing around with managing money and, $50 here and $80. It's not about that. It's about showing you can handle 3 scoops, man. 3 scoops. You want 3? Show me you can handle 2. Show me you can handle 1. Take a nice deep breath. Take a nice deep breath because you just got it. You just got it. And here's the thing. When I teach this in this arena, what we're going to be teaching and working on tonight, when I teach this live in front of thousands and thousands of people at a time, and the results come in afterwards, you know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months later, and people are telling me how amazing they are doing now, how money just seems to like magically start to come to them. I go, are you using the money management system? They go, I am. I go, that's why it's coming to you. Because you are showing the universe that you can handle what you've got. And the universe just cannot wait to give you more. All right. Do you understand? Do you understand? So, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you handle your money so that the universe will give you more? And by the way, when I say the universe gives you more, does that mean you have to do something for it? Do you have to do something for it? Or are you just going to sit around meditate and visualize and say that, oh, if the universe is so abundant, why don't I just dip my spoon in it and pour it over my head? Well, you know what? The universe is abundant. And you know what? You dip your spoon in it, but you dip your spoon in it in a certain way, by doing something, by serving people, by adding value, by being intelligent around money, not by sitting around and waiting for the ladle of abundance to drop on your head. Okay, thank you. Or you know, like I said, the universe is abundant, but it's probably not going to be abundant for you. That's all. That's okay. All right. So we're going to answer as many questions as we can get to and get into this whole arena of how we manage our money in a way that works and is easy and simple and happily works for you. And again, I want to remind you that the most important thing about this is not the person's name who's asking you the question, because again, the question that you ask is not, does this pertain to me? The question you ask is what? How does this pertain to me? And why do you ask that? Because you're on this call. There's no accidents in the universe. You're supposed to be on this call, and you're supposed to listen to every single question as if it is your own. Does that make sense? This was a question that was put out. Now, everybody, I hope you've got your pen and pencil, pen and paper ready, or your computers ready, because we're going to give you a lot of information tonight. We are going to give you a life-changing methodology. When I say life-changing, what do I mean? Here's the words. Life-changing. Here it goes. Diane Eisenman, she says, how do you recommend distributing my money that I earned in percentages? Should I use some categories like me or give to others or investment or any other categories? Having some boundaries would definitely help me a lot. Duh, Diane, it would help you and it would help everyone. Everyone, listen closely. I'm going to give you another analogy that will, I repeat, will change your life. Here we go. Are you ready? Now, take a nice deep breath because this is important. A lot of you seem to come from all over the world. And I like to use a baseball example, but not everybody knows baseball. But most people know soccer, as they call it in America, or football. Football, okay? So most of you'll know football/soccer, you know, like the World Cup, etc. Okay, listen closely here. How do you think that a football/soccer team would do if all 11 people on the pitch, on the field, were all only playing one position? All 11 people, all 11 players, all played right defense. And everybody in the whole field, they just all moved over and took the position of right defense, just that one position. How would that team do? So you know why I'm asking? You know why I'm asking? Because that's how most people play the money game. Exactly like that. They throw all their money into one big pot, called one position, and they work out of that. OMG. It is no wonder most people lose the game. They can't lose the game. They can't win the game because all of their money, all of their management is in one account, one area, one arena. All right? This is how most people handle their money. So if you want to win the soccer game or the football game, what do you have to do? You have to have all the players in different positions, right? In different positions, so that they could each do the job they're supposed to do. So they all have to be in different positions, and they all have a job to do, so that the whole field is covered. You understand? It is exactly the same with money and money management. Same with money. So we are going to divide our field into 6 positions, 6 jobs, 6 positions. And we have a world-famous system based on these 6 positions that has changed the lives of literally, I kid you not, if I said 100,000 people, I would be exaggerating to the low end, to the low end. I would probably say 500,000 people. If you stopped them on the street and said, did this change your life? They would say, absolutely, absolutely. Okay? Here's the 6 positions. So what we're going to do, listen closely now, we're going to divide all of our money, the income. We're going to take our income. Here we are. We're going to take our income. We're going to deduct taxes if we are in our own business as to what normal taxes might be, you know, wherever you live, 15, 20, 30%, whatever it is. Just take that off and put that into another account and then pay your taxes with it. If you have a job, your taxes are very often deducted for you, and you get your check just as what's yours, right? Okay. After tax, these are the 6 positions or the 6 jars. I call them the jar system because I like the fact that you just simply put money into jars, cash into jars, and you get to see it. Now, of course, today that is just more of a metaphor, and what that means is you're going to have 6 different accounts. 6 different accounts. Understand? All right. And so this is the way it's going to work. Your 6 different jars, your 6 different accounts. We're going to start with an account called your FFA. FFA. And your FFA stands for your Financial Freedom Account. And what that means is you're going to take 10% of your income for that week or that month or however you get paid, including paying yourself, and you're going to put them into your financial freedom account. All I'm going to say about this account is the only job it has is to help you become financially free. Now, do you spend any of this money? When do you spend any of this money? Who says yes, who says no? In the financial freedom account? No. Okay, now write down, when are you allowed to spend it? You put 10%, let's say you got $100 in income, and you put $10 in there. When are you allowed to spend it? Never, thank you. Never, ever, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever. You can invest it, but you can never spend it. No. Now, this person says, when you're debt-free, you can spend it. No, that's not true. This person says, when your business is successful, you can spend it. No, it's not true. When can you spend it? The only time you can spend it is never. It's not to spend. It is only, this one says, Never Team says, when you retire, you can spend it. No. You can never spend it. Ever, 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 ever. What it is becomes, and some of you have taken my courses before, I'm going to give you the analogy, that becomes your golden goose. In other words, that builds and builds and builds, your FFA account builds and builds and builds, and it is only the earnings from the FFA that you are ever allowed to spend in your retirement. Do you understand? It is only the earnings from your FFA that you are allowed to spend in your retirement. Do you understand that now? So if you've built up $1 million in your FFA account, your financial freedom account, you say, well, I'm not working anymore, so now I get to spend my $1 million, right? No, because what if you live another 50 years? You'll be broke. Understand? But let's say you're very fortunate. You're getting 7% on your money, a return on investment. Okay, I don't want to go too many numbers, but out of $1 million, that would be how much? $70,000 a year. A year. That's the part you can spend. You can spend $70,000 a year because the $1 million must stay whole and complete. Do you understand? You only spend the eggs of the goose. You cannot kill the goose. You only spend the earnings of the large amount of money that you got in your FFA. You never can spend the actual principal. Now, the next account we're going to go into is your LTSS. That's called long-term saving for spending. Long-term savings for spending. And that, again, that's 10% of the income that you get. And what is that for? Well, here it is. Remember when I created this system, what I did is I took a look at my own life and I took a look at the people that I knew. And here's the problem with a lot of people. Number the first problem was they never put away money for their future. Well, we got that handled in the FFA, right? Yes. The second problem was they were doing okay with money. They'd have a bunch of money in an account and they'd be doing okay, and then what would happen? Well, they say, you know what, I need a new car. I want a new car. And boom, they take $50,000 or $40,000 or $20,000 out of their account and buy a new car. And what's left? Nothing. And now they can't even pay for their mortgage or their rent, and they can't pay their bills, and they can't put any money into their Freedom account. They're stuck. You understand? So create this account to save up money for something that we are going to spend it for, but it's going to be something that's pretty big and takes a little while to save up for. So a perfect example is when you were a kid, what did you save up for? You saved up for a bicycle. If you were like me, that was my first big purchase. I'm going to save up for a bike. Where do I save it up? I save it up. 10% of all my income goes into my long-term saving for spending. And what I do is I choose something that I'm going to save up for specifically, and I put money away, 10%, and then I get to spend that, and then I get to save up for something new. The next part is number 3 is your education. 10% of all of your income goes to your education fund. Now, this doesn't mean your university school, okay? That's not necessarily that. That's usually more in your long-term saving for spending, okay? But it's like this class, for example, is your education. It's over and above your normal schooling. So it's for books and CDs and seminars and coaching and all the things that are you see, when you go to school, you're going to learn how to survive. That's about it. When you learn after school, you're going to learn how to thrive. So this is your Thrive account. And people say, well, I want to take your programs, or I want to take Joe's programs, or I want to do this or that, but I don't have any money. Well, why don't you have any money? 10% of all your income is supposed to go on your education account, then you have money. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Very good. All right, of course it could be Mindvalley Education. The next one, number 4, is your necessities. Necessities. That's just your normal day-to-day living stuff. Normal day-to-day living stuff. And that's going to be, your rent and your mortgage and your food and your car and your gas and all that kind of stuff, just your operating expenses for your life, okay? So those are all of your necessities. And look what we've got there, 55%. 55% of all of your income goes into those necessities. Now, some of you are going, wait a minute, I can barely live on 100%. How am I supposed to live on 55%? Remember, you were throwing everything before into one account, one position, and drawing from that, and everything was like a necessity for you. But now we are separating monies out for things that you would have normally just lumped in with your necessities, including your bike and your car and your new car and your new stereo that you're getting and your new this and new that. You see, that would have normally been necessity, but now it's not. Necessities just mean, again, food and mortgage and rent and very specific things, your insurances and stuff like that. Okay? Got it. The next piece here is critical, and that is your play account. See, again, this would have normally been when in the old way, you're just throw it into one account. You know what, you want to get a massage, there you go. You want to treat yourself to a beautiful dinner, there you go. You just take it up. But then you see, this is not money management. This way, you have a play account. Now listen to the job of this play account. You're going to love this. The only job of this play account is to blow it. Blow it. Be crazy with it. Get yourself things that rich people would get as long as the amount is in your play account. By the way, the question that Patricia asked was, are clothes included in necessities? Necessity clothes are included in necessities. That 4th handbag to go with your alligator shoes is not necessities. Okay? Simple. That would go in your long-term saving for spending. All right, you can still get it though. Okay, so your play account is something that you take 10% of your money, and every single month you have to spend that money, and you do something fantastic with it, something that you would normally not even think of being able to do because you say you don't earn enough money. So, for example, what I like to say to a lot of people is, hey, have you ever gone to the Ritz-Carlton and got a room there for the night with your honey? Are you kidding? I could never do that. Well, you can now. Why? Because 10% of your entire income for the month is going into that play account, and that might be exactly enough to value one night of a room at the Ritz-Carlton and dinner. Okay? And maybe it's not quite where you are. Maybe it is. But you understand, your job here is to play with it and do amazing, fantastic things with it. And this is, by the way, what another spiritual part of money management. You see? Because the whole structure is a little bit more of the mind part, and you know the FFA is definitely the ego part. I want to definitely get to a point and get rich and all that. But your spirit wants to play. And what do? You just save and save and save, or do you spend and spend and spend? And the answer is what? What do you do? Both. Okay. By the way, does your 401 account for your LTSS? No, your 401 account is in your FFA account. You're using that for your retirement, right? Not for playing, or not for buying something. Your LTSS is going to always be for spending. It's long-term saving for spending for something big. Okay, and number 6, we say at least 5% into your give jar. And that contribution give jar, that goes for a charity that you really believe in. Now, some people say, well, I've learned 10%. Okay, fine. Change it to 10% and take the other 5% out of the necessities. That's fine. Do that. All right? So, very simple. 6 accounts, 6 positions on the football field. Everyone has its job to do. You'll notice that when you take all these together, pretty well every one of your expenses and your expenditures or your investments is all handled in these 6 jars. By the way, someone asked, where does paying extra debt come out of? Extra debt comes out of your long-term saving for spending, because maybe you say, I want to not just pay my amount, I want to pay more than my amount so I can get that down a little bit because of the high interest rates. Okay, does everyone understand that now? So you say, you know what, I'm gonna, instead of buying a bike, instead of buying an extra, another set of speakers for my stereo, I'm going to get my debt down. So I'm going to put my extra 10% in that. All right, here we go. And by the way, just your normal debt would just simply come out of your necessities. That's like a mortgage, like everything else. All right, take a nice deep breath. This is the simplest way I know of handling money. And you know what? It's really, really fun. It's fun to put money into your freedom jar and look at it and go, whoa, this is really growing. This is fantastic. It's fun to put a label on your LTSS and say, new iPhone 6. That's what I'm going to be buying. So you put that right on there. It's fun to say, I can take another course. I've got money for it, you see, and for your play account and to get. It's really fun. It's beautiful, you see, and it works. And how do I know it works? How do I know it works? It works because I have over 1 million students, and I know that it works. Someone says, it's too complicated when you use credit cards. Arthur, watch, look, listen, buddy. You simply use your credit card. You have to designate on your credit card statement where each of these things came from, and you can only spend on your credit card the amount you had in that account. So you would then, for example, don't forget, these may not be jars in your house, although it's a good idea at least to denote it somehow. These will be accounts online or in your bank, understand? And so you will, when you, on your bank account, when you buy a credit card and you bought a course, for example, and it costs $1,000, then you would pay that $1,000 from your education fund only. You may have to spend 2 or 3 months saving up for that. Does that make sense? Okay. Thank you there. Don't just say something's complicated. Listen up. All right. Okay, everyone take a deep breath. Now, by the way, I know for you left brainers, this is nice, and for you right brainers, it's like, Oh my God, will I get this? Yes, you'll get it. It's 6 simple jars, okay? That's all it is. Again, I'm going to say this again. If in my house I have 6 jars in front of me, what I do is I actually each month I write down on a little card, like a cue card, what is in that account. Or I'll print out from my online accounts and put the printout in my jar. Okay? And so I know if a bank won't split it up, I split it up. It's okay. I'm in charge of my money. Thank you. Jillian Hogarden. Here was her question. Oh yeah, wait. Before we get to Jillian Hogarden, I want you to put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. I am a spiritual millionaire. I am a spiritual millionaire. By the way, someone asked, do I still follow the system now that you're a multimillionaire? The answer is yes, and you'll see why in a moment. But it's not quite exact. I'll tell you how to work it. Okay, we're going to cover a lot tonight. All right, I'm a spiritual millionaire. Okay, Jillian Hogarden, she asked this. When I think of money management, I feel sick to my stomach. The whole subject just makes me ill. I just want to be free. I'm a free bird. I don't want to be strangled by some money management system here. Okay. Everyone listen closely. Everyone listen closely. The number one difference between rich and poor is not how much money they earn. It's how well they manage the money they do earn. The number one difference between rich and poor is not how much they earn, it's how well they manage what they do earn. Now, so Jillian, here's the thing. You've got a money blueprint, what we call a money blueprint, a way of thinking about money that, I'm going to say this right now, for a lot of you, doesn't support you. It's not right or wrong, it just doesn't support you. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't make you happy on a long-term basis. Does that make sense? So you want to be free? You really want to be free? Then is struggling with money free, Jillian, and everybody else listening? Is that free? You call that free? Being broke? Oh yeah, I'm free and I'm broke. Okay, that's really good. Okay, so here's what I say. What do I say all the time? You can be right or you can be rich. You can be right or you can be rich. You can be right and you can make up your mind that you're going to feel sick to your stomach when you think about managing your money, or you can be rich and change your thinking. Now, what's easier to change, your money or your thinking? Well, to me, it's your thinking, because you can change that in a heartbeat, okay? And do what really works. So you change your thinking and you be rich instead of right. Now, I want to say this. I am what you'll call a free bird. I'm a free bird, okay? I don't like structure too much. I don't like, I don't like, like looking at every penny and tracking every dime. I hate that. In fact, I don't quite do it like that. I just do it with the 6 jars, and it's very, very simple. I'm a free bird. But this is the way I framed it. Okay? Listen closely. The way I think about it is that managing your money does not curtail your freedom. It promotes your freedom. Managing your money promotes your freedom. How? Number one, because in the future, you will be financially free. Okay? That's freedom. So, but it's a little bit of future freedom. But also in the current, in the right now, in the present moment, it is the freedom, listen closely, of being able to spend what you have in that designated account without guilt. And that's real freedom. To be able to take the $250 that is in your play account for that month and walk into a massage studio and turn that just jar over and have all the money fall out of it and say to the massage therapist, and you go, give me the works. I want a 2-hour massage. I want you to do the face peel. I want you to do the this and the cucumbers on my eyes. I want this kind of music. Give me the works, okay? I'm gonna sit for 2.5 hours. Then I want the hot tub after. I want to be pampered. See, that's freedom. And when you don't handle your money properly, you never get to do that without a tinge of guilt or at least a question from your higher self going, why are you doing this? You are killing your future. You are throwing away your seeds of your future. Okay? But you can have both, you see? Because every one of these accounts, every one of these jars does its job. And one of those is pure freedom for the future. And another one is pure, beautiful freedom for right now in your play account. Does that make sense? And you have the freedom to be able to buy what you want with your long-term savings account. That's real freedom. At least it is for me. So, Jillian and everyone listening, I want you to create a new trigger. Instead of throwing up when you think about money management, I want you to think of yourself. When you take care and you control your money and you manage it properly, I want you to use this word, okay, money management, and then close your eyes and visualize yourself on a beautiful, long, powdery sand beach with the calm ocean right in front of you, just lapping up, and a waiter bringing you another drink of your choice in a coconut of some kind, filled with perfection, and a little cherry and an umbrella on top. And you just sitting there where you always loved to be, and now you're there. So when you think of managing your money, I want all of you to think of your favorite place in the world and the ability to do what you love to do because you have taken care of your money properly. Let me get to another one of these questions in a minute, but first I want you to put your hand on your heart. I want you to repeat after me. I am a spiritual millionaire. Let me hear you say that. I am a spiritual millionaire. Good job. Good job. Here's a question that a lot of you might share. This is from Sharif Abul. And Sharif says, I'm hardly earning any money right now. So why should I think about managing money when I don't have any money to manage? Oh, man, Sharif, you're a laugh. That's beautiful. Because you know what? You just asked the question for about 1 million other people. So many people go, I don't have any money to manage. This doesn't even pertain to me. Okay? Listen closely. Have you ever heard this saying, the chicken and the egg? The chicken and the egg? So again, you don't have any money to manage? That is a result. It is a result of what you're doing right now, which is not managing your money. All right? So remember two things. First of all, the spiritual reason, meaning that until you show you can handle what you've got, you won't get any more. It's one of the big reasons, Sharif, you're not getting any more. Same with hundreds and hundreds of you on this call. The reason you're not getting any more is because you're not handling what you've already got. Very simple. I want to tell you another story, if I might. Oh, about, let's see here, how many years ago? About 14 years ago, some 15 years ago, there was a girl, who came into my seminar at the Millionaire Mind. And pretty sharp girl, and she came there because she heard it was good, but also she wasn't doing fantastic with money. In fact, she wasn't doing very well at all. And she learned this JAR system, this 6-account system. And instead of doing what most people do, which is say, I don't have any money, she understood the key words, the key phrase that I'm going to give you now. And she took it and she ran with it. And this is the key phrase. And the key phrase is this. It's that the habit is more important than the amount. I will say this again, since it happens to be one of the most important things in the entire world. The habit is more important than the amount. I want everybody to write that so I can see you write it in words. The habit is more important than the amount. Let me write it. I'm not seeing people write that. The habit is more important than the amount. Okay? Very good. Here we go. Now listen closely. So what does that mean? It means that it's not how much you are putting in the positions. It's not how much you're putting in the jars. It is the fact that you are doing that. You are doing that. And when you do that, what are you showing to the universe? You are showing to the universe and to your subconscious. You are showing that you can handle any of the money that you do have. And again, before you can get 3 scoops, you have to handle 1 scoop. So this girl's name is Michelle. And those of you who might have gone to the Million Mind Intensive might have seen her on a video because she was talking about her story. But her story was fantastic because what she did was this. She understood the habit was more important than the amount. And what she did, she began using the 6 jars. And she turned her $1 bill into coins, nickels, 5-cent pieces, 10-cent pieces, quarters, etc. Okay? And she took the 6 jars and she put her 55 cents into her necessities jar, and she put her 10 cents into her FFA, and her 10 cents into LTSS, and her 5 cents into contribution, and her 10 cents into play. And she was telling the story how she, how can you play with 10 cents? So she went out and went to the store and she bought a double bubble. In other words, one of those little pieces of gum that, the chewing gum, bubble gum. And they usually, at least in America, they come with a little comic in them. And so she read the comic, and that was her play. And, it's sad but true. But you know what? She did exactly what we're teaching you to do. It wasn't the fact. So let's say you say you hardly am earning any money now. It doesn't matter. Are you earning $1 a month? A month? 1 shekel, one yang, one euro, are you earning 1 a month? If not, borrow 1, okay? You have to earn 1 a month. Come on. Change it into smaller pieces and put it in the jars. The habit is more important than the amount. And you know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Magic. Magic. Magic will happen. Understand? Now, I want you to all understand something. Remember I said it's the habit that's more important than the amount. This is something hardly anybody will ever tell you. Are you listening? Listen closely. People say, I don't really earn a lot of money. I'm never going to be free. I'm never going to be rich. I don't earn a lot of money. I'll never be free. Wrong. If you follow what we're teaching you tonight, you will be free. You will be free. This is what you have to understand. A person who earns a fortune but doesn't manage their money well will never, I repeat, never be free regardless of how much money they actually earn. But a person who earns just a small or a decent amount of money, just a decent amount of money, but they manage that money well, I promise you, that person will become financially free. Now, it may take a little longer than shorter, of course. Okay, nobody's sitting here on some type of, make up story stuff. Of course, it'll take a little longer if you're not earning much money. But I'll tell you what, the person who earns a lot but doesn't manage it properly will never be free. But the person who manages what they've got, even if it's a small amount, they will become free. Good or good or good or good or good. Okay. Put your hand on your heart. By the way, I'm seeing some good questions. However, we're probably going to get to most of them. Trust me on this. All right. Put your hand on your heart and say, I am a spiritual millionaire. I am a spiritual millionaire. Thank you very much. Alan Wong, good question. Alan Wong says this. Your jar system is famous where I live. Okay, I'm not sure where that is. I think it's Singapore or something. But I have huge debt. It seems wrong to put money into all these different accounts or my Freedom account when I'm paying a high percentage on my debt. Don't I have to put all my money and attention into just paying off my debt first? What a good question that is. Yes or yes? How many people understand? So, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. When I go on, radio or television and talk about this stuff, and people ask this question, I have a response that is exactly the opposite of what everybody else tells them to do. Every single money management person, author, seminar leader, professional, financial planner, every single person says this: if you have debt, all of your money, you need to cut down everything you do, and all the rest of it needs to go into paying off that debt. Of course, you might be paying 10, 12, 14% on your money on that debt. Who would think, why else would you do anything with that money? You've got to pay down that big percentage. You got to get that down right away, as fast as possible. Yes or yes or yes or yes. This is my opinion. Bullshit. Bull poo. Bull crap. Let me ask you a question. How the hell did you get into debt in the first place? You got into debt with this exact advice that they're giving you. Let me say this right now. Everybody, first of all, I'm going to give you something here to write down. Everybody write this down. The secret to money is very simple. Spend less than you earn. Spend less than you earn. Okay, spend less than you earn. Okay, that was hard. Well, in practice, of course, your mind's going to tell you you have to buy this and have to buy this and have to buy this. Oh, you're not earning enough. But listen, I'm going to talk about this a little later. There's only two things you need to do: earn more, spend less. Okay, it's pretty simple, all right? So here's the deal with that. What did I say about the key to this around the universe and about spirit? You see, the people who talk to you about, put every dollar into your debt, they don't know from spirit. They don't know from spirit. They don't know from the universe. They don't follow those laws. They follow practical laws that make sense. But if if they made so much sense, how come everyone who was in debt is still in debt? Hardly anyone who has, listen closely, who has the habit, what's the word? Habit of debt ever gets out of debt. And they're constantly going back into debt. Why? Because this is how they handle their money. They believe that it's okay to spend money you don't have yet. That's their belief. It's okay to spend money you don't have yet, right? That's the belief. And that's how they handle their money. That is not workable. You do not spend money you don't have yet. Period. Over and out. Okay? So, if the money management method is getting into debt and then trying to get out of debt, then what's that? That's a habit of just getting back into debt. What's your option? The 6 jars. The 6 jars. Just manage your money the way I asked you to do so. And watch what happens. Magic will happen. Remember, remember, remember. Here is another universal principle that I know that you know, and here it is. Here it is. What you focus on expands. Write that down, everybody. What you focus on expands. What you focus, let's see you write it. What you focus on expands. Okay, very good. You've heard that before, right? So if all you're focusing on is your debt, what do you think you're going to expand? That's right. All you're going to get is more debt. You focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. That is a spiritual universal principle of creation. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. What do you want? You want to be free? Then focus on your financial freedom account. Exactly the opposite of what they tell you. Put money into your financial freedom account. What do you do about your debt? You pay your debt partly out of your necessities and partly out of your long-term saving for spending if you're going to put more. If you want to put more into your debt, do it out of your long-term saving for spending before you do an actual something that you really wanted out of there. Do that from your play jar, etc., etc. But do not give up on managing your money, because you're going to tell the universe, hey, I can't manage my money. I'm not managing my money properly. I just spend and then overspend, and I go into debt, and then I pay down my debt. And I spend, overspend, go into debt, and pay down my debt. That is not managing your money. Where is the freedom? Where's the financial freedom account in all this? Put money into all your accounts, and never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, ever miss any time to put the amount of money into your financial freedom account jar. Ever, 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 ever. Show the universe what is important to you is freedom. Go for what you want, not for what you don't want. Put attention on what you want, not on what you don't want. And you will find that magic occurs. Now, is it going to take a little bit longer to pay down your debt? Yes. Is it going to cost you a little bit more in interest? Yes. Yeah, it will. Yes, it will. Sorry. It's going to take a little longer. It's going to cost you a little bit more. And because it's going to cost you more, it's going to take a little longer. But do you know what's going to happen as you start to manage your money the way that I've taught you? As you start to manage your money, you keep on putting money in your financial freedom account. There's going to be a part of you that starts to go, you see, now you're going to end up with a new money management system. Now you're going to end up with a new habit. A new habit, and you won't go back into debt again because you have a new habit. Otherwise, you'll go back into debt for the rest of your life. That's how you pay off your debt. Put your hand on your heart, everyone. Repeat after me. I am a spiritual millionaire. I am a spiritual millionaire. Beautiful. Thank you. Again, this is a question. I hope you are all seeing how this works. How this works. There's this very spiritual element running through all of this. You have to do a little bit of trusting. And here we go. Mary Lee Adler. Again, she's asking for everybody here. How is it possible to manage or budget money when you don't have regular amounts coming in at regular intervals? That's a really, really good question. Because some people get like a salary, they have like, $1,000 a week coming in, and that's the end of it. Some people are in their own or get are mostly on commission, and they get $3,000 at a shot, and then another month later they get another $2,000, then they get $6,000, then they get $1,000, right? And how about people in their own business? Sometimes they're earning $3,000, sometimes they're earning $10,000, sometimes they're earning $2,000. How about someone, for example, let's say that someone's in the real estate business, a real estate agent. You've all heard of that, right? You all know that. So you know that they don't make usually very, very seldom they get a salary. They'll get a commission when they sell a house. Sometimes they sell a house every month, every 2 months, every 6 months, every year. So it's not a regular commission check, okay? But let's say, for example, you sold a house. You're a real estate agent, and I don't know where you are, but you sold a house and you made $30,000 commission on the house. Now, for some places, that's going to be a joke, too small, and for other places, it's going to be too high. I get it. It's just $30,000 on a house. You made that commission. What do? You don't just throw it into one account. You place it into the 6 separate accounts. So now, this money, because this money has to last you until your next big check coming in. That's why you put, 55% of it is going to go into your necessities jar. You see, so in this case, let's say $30,000, you're going to end up with about $17,000, $18,000 lumped into your necessities jar. You're going to have $33,000 is going to go right into your FFA. $3,000 is going to go right into your buy a bike jar or whatever. Did you understand that? In this case, $1,500 is going to go into your the contribution for charity. You put it in the jars, you see, and you don't spend anything outside the jars, and it'll last you because of that. And that's how you do it. Now, if you're starting to run short, then you might have to do something called simplify. Remember what I said earlier. There's only 2 things you're going to work on. You either earn more money or you spend less money, okay? If you're not earning enough, then you need to spend less or earn more. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Put your hand on your heart. Let me get to more question. Put your hand on your heart and say, I am a spiritual millionaire. I am a spiritual millionaire. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see here. Let me see which question works here. Patricia Barrow says, keeping track of details is not my biggest strength. Well, join the club. So when I think of keeping track of my business's money, I freak out. My husband and I have always been pretty good with our finances, but he always does the detail work. I feel incapable of doing it for me, and that is a big block I have. Do you have any suggestions? Well, maybe I do. Let's see here. So first of all, this is a very big distinction, everybody. Listen closely. Are you listening? Listen closely. Business money management and personal money management are separate, are different. Okay? They're different. I'm not going to get into the advanced work of business money management now, but we're going to separate personal money management from business money management. So how you run your business is different than how you run your personal money, okay? But here's the thing. So we're only talking about your personal money. But when it comes, now here's the thing. If you have a business, your own business, this is what I want you to do. Listen closely. Take a paycheck, a regular paycheck from your business, so you can create a regular income. And with that regular income, what do? You put it into the 6 jars and you manage it properly. Okay? So let's just take an example here. Your business is, widgets. You sell pet supplies. Okay, and you're doing pretty well with it, and sometimes a little better, sometimes you're a little less. But you've been in business for a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever. Now, here's the thing. You don't wait for your business to make a big profit and then pay you, because then you're going to wait all year pretty well before you know what the profit is pretty well, okay? You imagine yourself, and by the way, in some places this is really good for taxation, in some places not so good, but for me it's good. In North America it's a good idea. You become kind of a manager of your own business, as in an employee of your own business, and you take a decent, not a lot, but a decent amount of income, money that you take as a salary, So you have a definite regular income that you take every month or every 2 weeks or every half month, just like a normal employee would, or every week, okay? When for me, what I was doing is I was taking a substantial salary, a management fee, and I was taking that out of my company. It didn't matter what it earned or didn't earn. Taking that out of my company, every 2 weeks I got my paycheck. With that paycheck, I divided it into my 6 jars, which allowed me to manage my money. You see, if you don't do that, what are you going to do? You understand? What are you going to do if you don't do that? Right? You're going to wait for your so we had a good day today, honey, and we sold $400 worth, and I don't know what our expenses are, but let's divide up $400. Wait, is that a day or is that a week? It's ridiculous. You can't even do it. You see? You can't even do it. So you give yourself a regular paycheck. But Harv, my business can't afford to give me a regular paycheck. Give yourself less, okay? Give yourself, remember, what's more important, the habit or the amount? Give yourself $10 a week. What? How can I live on that? Nobody said to live on it. What are you doing now? What are you doing now? At least you have to take out the money that's going to give you your necessities and allow you to put the money into the other jars. You understand? First the habit, then the amount. First the habit, then the amount. First the habit, then the amount. We're talking about personal income here. Personal money is not business money. Business goes to personal, then it goes into the account. Business income goes to personal income, then it goes into the accounts. All right. So the other thing that was a really great question that Patricia also mentioned, and she kind of said that she freaks out when she deals with managing money and finances and all that. So listen here, Patricia and everybody else, listen closely. As for freaking out, that really has nothing to do with money, and it has everything to do with your money blueprint. Really, just your thinking pattern, your condition, what you've been programmed to think about. So the first thing for everybody who's got a little hard time with the number part of this, I want you to do this. Change your money blueprint. Release the belief that you cannot do this. And for everybody around this whole numbers thing and money management, oh, this is too hard, this is detailed. This is not hard. Here's what I want you to do. First of all, say to yourself, I can do this because I can do whatever it takes. I'm a survivor. I'm a thriver. I can and will do whatever it takes. Do you know how I know this is true? If I haven't heard this once, I haven't heard it 1,000 times. People will come up to me, especially women, like 95% women, and they'll come up to me at the Million Mind Intensive or one of our other courses, and they'll say, Harv, I've never been a money manager. I'm not good with numbers. I never even took care of the checkbook. My husband did all that. My husband died, and now I have to do it. And you know what's interesting? Now that I have to do it, I have no problem doing it. The first couple of days was like, well, what am I doing? But now it's like second nature. So everybody, give yourself the benefit of the doubt that when you have to do something, you will frickin' do it because you are a warrior or you are a wizard and you will do whatever it takes. And if it takes for you changing your mind and saying, I can be good at this, then just frickin' do it. Okay? Just because you're right-brained. There's a lot of people. Half the people on this call are right-brained. So here's what I say for all you right-brained people. Get the jars. Make it fun. Put ribbons around them and decorate them and make them colorful. And then put little tickets and little pieces of paper that represent money inside them that is your real money there. And make it fancy and enjoy it, okay? And also, here's what I've done with a lot of people. Make this a game for yourself and give yourself a score. And when you split up your money, every time you split it up, every time you get your income, you split up your money, give yourself a reward for that. Give yourself a reward for that. Make it fun. Okay, everybody, put your hand on your heart and say, I am a spiritual millionaire. Nice job. Once again, I'm a spiritual millionaire. All right, Monica Bernalak and K.S. Singh Hai have very similar type of questions. I'm going to put them together. She says, my husband's money blueprint is spend and hope to earn it back later. Whoa, that's different. His argument is, I love this argument, I have to enjoy life today. I could be dead tomorrow. So is there a way to help your partner become aware and encourage them to change? Listen to K.S. Singh Hai. She says, my husband always talks about saving but never ever does it. He spends all of it to a point where I have to hide and save it sometimes. Have to hide and save it. Do you have any advice for me? Okay. Listen, everybody. The most important thing between couples, and by the way, we're going to be working with relationships and money coming up in one of our upcoming sessions. We'll do a lot more with it. So we'll just touch on it right now. I hope you understand, because we have a whole section on it. The most important thing, I want you to get started right now, though, is to get on the same page. You get on the same page. Now, the first thing you have to understand is this. When, let's say, for example, one of the partners is a spender, and one of them is, by necessity, a saver, because the other person spends all the money, so the one person has to try to save anything that's even salvageable. Does that make sense? By the way, that's why very often they're opposites. If you don't like the way your partner is around money, here's what I want you to understand. It's not their fault. It's not their issue. That's not the issue. You don't go, that person is an idiot. That person is crazy. That person doesn't know how to handle money. That person does not. Because if you blame them, guess what? They're going to blame you right back. If you take the offense, they're going to take the defense. You understand? And then they'll come offensively against you. Here's the thing. The issue's not with them, personally. They're not right, and they're not wrong, and you're not right, and you're not wrong. It's both of your money blueprints. It's you are watching their money blueprint, their programming of what they learned when they were young. That's their money blueprint. Their conditioning play out in action as they grew up. You are actually watching the messages they heard when they were young. or whatever the message they got, verbal, or whether it's verbal, or whether it's visual, or it's what they experience. You're watching their messages play out. So you have to understand something. Everyone has different meanings for life and different meanings for their money. And so in this case, the husband says, my meaning for life is, to enjoy it. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy money. And you're saying, wait a minute, what about the future? Now, who's right? Here's the answer. Both. Both are right. Which is why these 6 little jars accounts actually work, because they give a beautiful balance to everyone. So here's what I highly recommend that you do. You need to sit down with them. Now here's the thing. When? At the right time. Don't sit down with them and talk about this when you're in the middle of an argument. Are you kidding me? Come on, a little common sense. You know how to do it. When they're in a good mood and you're in a good mood and you're at a nice dinner or eating a nice dinner in the house and everybody's relaxed and you say, honey, I'd love to talk to you about something, with you about something, and see if we can work together to create something special for ourselves. Okay? You're not asking them to do anything different right now. So it's timing. Now, I have a question for you. If you're going to, listen closely, I want to teach you something really major here. Are you ready? Listen closely. A lot of you know this, but I need to remind you of this. Here it is. What are the 2 basic motivators? Write them down. I want to see. What are the 2 basic motivators? I don't see any. Fear and love. Not what I was thinking. Fear, sex and drugs. Fear, love and sex. Hunger, pain and pleasure. The 2 basic motivators are pain and pleasure. So this is what you might say to your partner. So you might say something like, I recognize the pleasure in us spending the money now. But I also recognize the pleasure in having total freedom later. So you got to say, yes, I understand you want to spend the money now. I get it. That's great. We should spend some money now. We should have fun now for sure. But also, don't you want to have fun later as well as now? Of course. And what about the pain? Draw the picture of the pain of not having money later when he's too old to earn it. Honey, I love you. Just imagine that all our money is gone now and you're too old to earn any more money. No one will give you a job. And we're just living on money from the government and begging for handouts. And we're struggling instead of ease. We can't even enjoy our life then. So the key, my friends, is what? The key is balance. And if you don't try and change that person and you allow them to show them the pleasure, in this case, of spending some now and being able to spend some later, right? Both, they're usually going to understand. Understand? I hope so. Now, I'm going to give you something I was going to save for next time when we talk about relationships and money, but here it is because I want you to start with it right now. Are you ready? Okay, here it is. Listen closely. There are couples of money. There are couples who they keep their money separate. And what they have to do is figure out how they're going to spend, how they're going to both pay for things that are common for them, and just have an agreement around that. However, at the same time, most married couples commingle their money. They put their money together, okay? This is very good as long as you both agree on how it's going to go, and very bad if you don't agree. So what do you do? Again, I'll go over it in detail when we do the relationships part. But here's what you do. This is a secret. This is what has to happen. For everyone who commingles their money, you have to take an amount out that you both agree on that is your personal allowance from what we're calling your personal money management. Okay? So before you do all the money management, you have to take out an amount that you both agree on, that you will each get, that has nothing to do with the money management as you as a couple, and you don't need to tell the other person what you're doing with that money. You don't need to account for it. It's your money to do with what you want. To play with it, spend it, blow it, save it, put it in your FFA, your own personal FFA, whatever you want. So let's say, for example, that you're married, and you decide that, you know what, honey, we are going to each take a personal allowance before we split up the money, and we have $5,000 a month coming in together. So you're going to take $500 for you, and I'm taking $500 for me, and do whatever you want with it. I don't even want to hear about it, and I'm not telling you about it, and it's as if it doesn't exist. Okay. Now what we have left is 4,000. The 4,000 is now going to go into our jars that we have together, and we work our life based on that. But you still have your own $500 per month, and you do what you want with it. And this way, if you give someone their freedom, if you give them the freedom of being able to just do whatever they want with some money, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to have to blow all the money. I'm going to say it again. If you give someone their freedom to do whatever the heck they want with some of the money, they won't have to blow all of the money. All right. Put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. I am a spiritual millionaire. I am a spiritual millionaire. Victor Chow has a good question that a lot of people, I'm sure, would like to have the answer to. He says, Harvey, in your experience, what is the best way to grow money? Some investments require long hours and effort to keep tracking and monitoring them. What if I don't have enough spare time? All right, here's some thoughts. First of all, Victor, I don't know exactly what kind of investments you're talking about, but just like, listen closely, everybody. Listen closely. You're not listening. Listen closely. I can tell when you're listening because on my screen, I have ears. And beside each person, I have an ear. This is hardly ever talked about in the investment world. Everything's about make a lot of money right away. Okay, it doesn't kind of work like that. Just like you want to have the right job, you want to be in the right business for you, right? You want to have the right job for you. You want to have the right business for you. You want to have the right partner for you, the right husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You have to have the right investments for you. So number one, how do you know what's the right investment? First of all, everybody has one of them in common. It has to make money versus lose money. Investments that lose money are not the right investment. I don't care what else has going for it. It's not the right investment, period, over and out. And sometimes you make the wrong decision, and you live with it. You take a deep breath, and you make a better decision next time. That's all. Don't go blaming everybody on the decision that you made, even if they told you, this is a great investment. You hear that all the time. Oh, yeah, my friend told me this is a great investment. Well, okay, great. Well, it wasn't a great investment. It didn't work out. Okay, so what? Suck it up and get up and go again. Don't be blaming them. You know what you do when you blame other people? You take you take the universe, and you are just putting a dagger through your own heart. You will never get rich that way. You will never get rich by blaming other people for your poor decisions if they were a poor decision at the time. At the time, it sounds good, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. Get back on the horse, start again, and stop blaming everybody else because you are killing yourself with that blame. Okay. So a good investment for you, one that's right for you, is one that makes money versus loses money. Okay. Second, it has to suit you in terms of risk. How risky is it? How not risky is it? In terms of, do you believe in what you're investing in? Do you believe in real estate? Do you believe in that stock? Do you believe in that company? Or is it just to make money? And also, does it suit your time? Does it suit your time involvement? Victor's saying, a lot of things have to take time tracking and monitoring. Don't have to spend. 90% of investors hardly spend any time at their investments. They have investment brokers. They have managers. That's what these people do, okay? And by the way, even if you're working on cash flow real estate, which I personally enjoy and I really like it and I believe in it, then you're going to have a property manager. So you can pick investments that suit you. In short, here's the deal, my friends. You run the investment doesn't run you. Pick investments that suit your personality. A lot of people, and I'm going to say this right now, and you may not like it, but I'm going to speak my mind. You do what you want. I don't have any money in Monsanto. None, and I never will. Because I believe they're destroying the food in this world. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe it. I believe they're destroying it. Okay? Now, you don't have to believe it. I didn't tell you to believe it. But I would never give them one freaking cent of mine. And I would ask my students to simply do one thing: Google the whole issue about Monsanto and its artificial GMOs putting in everything. And in a lot of countries, you know that in America, you don't even have to label the food as GMO if it's GMO, genetically modified food. You're eating plastic. Well, it's not proven that it's going to harm you. Okay, a lot of things in the world aren't proven, you know. They're not proven, but by and by they kill you. All right? So here's the deal, my friends. I just don't put my money in with them. One of my brokers goes, you know, we're in a mutual fund. So, you know, you're in Walmart and you're in Exxon and you're in this and you're in that. And going, I want to see all the names of the companies. He says, there's 40 companies. I said, I want to see the name. And you know what? I was making, 2 years ago, I was making about somewhere between, depending on the month, but somewhere between an average annual return of between 12 and 16%, which is pretty good for a mutual fund these days, you know, at least the ones I'm in. I have a lot of better stuff, but you know, a mutual fund is really good. And he's really happy with himself, and so he sends me the list. And you know what I saw on the very second last from the bottom? Monsanto. I pick up the phone. I swore for the first time. I said, you know what I said, I cannot believe you're putting my money into that with those hoodlums, those criminals. You take that money out right away. Well, I can't. It's part of mutual fund. Good. Then you're fired. Give me back my money. You're fired. Give me back my money. Period. Okay? So the only reason I'm saying this right now is because that's what I believe. You might like it. I don't care. That's up to you. You might go with what you believe in. If you believe that a company is not doing the right thing, then spiritually, do not get involved with them. You are giving them money to run that business. You understand that? And there's no way I would do that. All right. Put your hand on your heart, everybody. Put your hand on your heart. I am a spiritual millionaire. I am a spiritual millionaire. All right. Let me see if I can get to one more very quick question here, because this is an important question. Oh, there's another question here. Okay, very quick. Dr. Anthony Weinert. And by the way, I see, Anthony, your name on there all the time. Thank you for asking. Thank you for participating. However, I wanted to know what your thoughts are if I took 5% of my LTSS account and added it to my FFA account. So instead of putting 10% from my FFA account, I put 15% in my FFA account. I put 5% in my LTSS instead of 10. Allow more of my money to grow long term. Everybody listen. The percentages are for most people, and they work, and you should do these percentages. That's all there is to do it. However, having said that, once you've got some serious income coming in, and in other words, you are making your jars are handled. There's a decent amount in each jar, and your necessities are definitely handled. Once you've got your necessities handled, I want you to continue with everything the way it is. But once you've got your necessities handled, necessities first, and 55% covers it no problem, and you start earning more money, then there's no use of putting more than 55% in your necessities. Let's say, for example, you earn, an extra $10,000 this quarter. You don't need it for your necessities and for any other thing. What do? Here's what I would do. I would definitely throw the extra $10,000 into my FFA account. You understand what I'm saying? What do rich people say? Harv, someone said, do you still manage your money like this now that you're a multimillionaire? And the answer is yes and no. I manage my first approximately $10,000 a month exactly like this. And then the next 10 or 20,000 a month, I put most of it into my FFA, and I put a bunch more into my play account, my long-term savings, and my contribution. Okay? Because I don't have to put in my necessities anymore. And then the next 10 or 20 or 50 or 100,000 that I earn in a month, I throw right into my FFA account. So as long as you've got the base handled, then the goal, my friends, the goal is to become financially free faster. And to do that, you need to chunk more and more and more of your money into it. But make sure you manage your money, balance it balance it. Don't give up your play account. But listen, I don't want a play account. I don't need a play account. I don't need a long-term saving for spending. I want to just get free fast. You know what's going to happen? You won't, because you are stopping your play. You are stopping the spirit part of you from playing and enjoying life right now. Do you understand this? If you understand this, let me see. Say, I understand. Say, I understand if you understand it. Very good. I understand. Beautiful. Lisa and Dale and Hazel. Fantastic. So that's what I would do. That now that I'm rich, I know that works. And I can tell you that, remember the story about the girl I told you about before who was starting with $1 in her jars and split up her dollar? Guess what? Today, doing that system, she is a multi-millionaire. And whenever she gets money, she handles the first part of it, just as we've said, through the jars, and then she just chunks in large amounts of income into her FFA, and she is rich. Okay. I got to get this one in because it's really, really, I'll try to do it fast, okay? But we're going to be doing a lot more of this when we do relationships and money, okay? I apologize, but I got to get one more in. Here it is. Corey Tyler says this: my wife and I recently bought a piggy bank for our son in an attempt to teach him how to save money. I'm sad to share his bank remains empty except for a handful of pennies. I don't know how to save money and thus don't know how to impart what I don't know to him. What suggestions might you have so I might become a more consistent saver myself and pass that habit on to my son? Okay, well, Corey, first of all, thank you for asking that question. It's a great question. Great question. And again, we're going to do a whole section on money and relationships coming up. All right, well, you know what to do now, Corey. You do the jar system. It's simply that, okay? Next, you have to understand something, everyone. Kids don't listen to what they say, to what you say. Kids don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. Kids don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. My guru, Sherry Huber, she wrote a book called The Parenting Book. When you open up the book, you think there's anything about parenting other than anything about kids and how to parent? No. The whole book is about you, how to be the best you possible. And then the idea of the book is simply that they're going to watch you and do what you do. That's all there is to it. So the way to handle this is simply you use the jar system. You use it well, use it beautifully, and you become a model of how to handle money properly. And you have supportive beliefs around money and supportive conversations around the house around money, instead of saying, oh, we don't have any money, you're never going to amount to anything, people like us never get rich, money is evil. Don't say crap like that, because it's not true. You're just installing freaking garbage into their head, okay? Okay? Be positive around it. Money is good. Money is excellent. When you have it, you can help yourself and you can help other people with it. And it's good to help other people. And you get money as a reward for helping other people. That's how you get it, by being successful at helping people. Understand? Teach them what you're doing here. So you use the jar system, and you will see, and you make it, by the way, you make it fun. You make it fun. Again, the piggy bank is cool, but if it's not a fun piggy bank, then how cool is that? Understand? So someone says, Tara says, get a piggy bank yourself and show him. Yeah, do the jars with it. I cannot tell you, I have students who cannot even talk. They cannot even talk. They're that young and they're doing the jar system. I kid you not. I have video. I have people who come to my seminars who tell me, my son, oh yeah, I'm going to tell you a story. This was a cute one. One of the things we talk about in some of the courses is that we repeat, I'm a money magnet. And the magnet part is because your FFA jar. Your FFA jar is your magnet jar. It attracts more money, okay? But first you got to put money in it, and keep on putting money, and it attracts more money. And this girl comes up to me, she says, my son, he's a little guy, he's like 2 years old, and he just barely speaks, and he keeps on yelling around the house, I'm a money magnet. I'm a money magnet. I'm a money maggot. Now, I don't know if you speak English, but maggot is like a worm. Okay, fine. All right. Last thing I'm going to say about money and kids, okay? Not until next session on relationships and money. Last thing about money. Don't just give your kids money. Don't just give it to them. I don't even, if they're more than 3 years old or 2 years old, don't just give it to them. And by the way, when you do give it to them, put it in the accounts when they do get it. But don't just give it to them. Give them an allowance. Give them an allowance, and the allowance is based on something that they do to earn it. So, for example, if your kid's really young, little Johnny, if you would like these special things, then you'll have to buy them with your own money. And I'm going to give you money when you earn it. And the way you earn your monies, I'm going to give you $1 every day when you pick up your clothes and put it on the bed, and it's not on the floor when I come in. Okay? That's what you say. And then the kid keeps it on the floor. Say, oh, I have the $1, but I can't give it to you because you kept your money on the, because you kept your clothing on the floor. Yeah, and when you pick it up tomorrow, I'm going to give you this $1. So your job is to pick up your clothing from the floor and put it on the bed. And that way I don't have to bend down. Simple as that. You understand? So should we give a kid's allowance? Yes, but not for free. Because you're teaching them that money comes for free. They don't have to do anything for it. I'm young, so I should get an allowance. I'm a victim. I'm useless, so I should get an allowance. No, you get an allowance for doing something. Simple as that. Okay. By the way, when kids earn their money, they feel good about themselves. When they just get money, just like anybody else, they don't feel deserving. And remember, we did, I think it was on the second session about money and self-worth and deservedness. Do you know a lot of kids don't feel worthy because they were just given money. So they don't even know how to earn it for themselves. All right. Put your hand on your heart and say, I am a spiritual millionaire. I am a spiritual millionaire. All right. Very good. It is now time for our two-path visualization. And by the way, someone had just mentioned that household chores will be a contribution to part of the family. You don't get paid for it. We're not paying them for household chores. If you want to choose something else, choose it. It's about adding value, solving a problem. That's what you get paid for. But thank you for asking that, Tiffany, because a lot of people are probably wondering. Okay. Close your eyes and take a nice deep breath and breathe in and breathe out, and in and out. That's right. Just relax. We've gone through a whirlwind of information and data. I get it, but this is something you can handle. You can handle, just allow it in, and that doesn't all have to be understood in 1 second. Allow it to integrate within the cells of your body in a spiritual nature. Here we go. Take a nice deep breath in and breath out. And I want you to imagine right now that you are at a fork in the road. And there's two paths in front of you, and you don't know where it leads, but you decide to take the path on the left. And I want you to start walking down this path right now. Go ahead and do that. Start walking down. When the path can look however you want. It's just the left path in the fork in the road. And as you're walking down, you soon realize that this is the path of financial imbalance and struggle, the path of financial confusion and financial worries, and ultimately financial disaster. And as you continue down this path, you are acutely aware that you feel stressed. You seem to constantly be pulled in different directions. Should you save your money? Should you enjoy it? Should you spend it? Should you invest it? What about the fact that you're having a hard time even paying for your necessities? What do? It feels like you can't win. Why does money have to be such a hassle? And you wonder, how do financially successful people do it? And you don't have the answer. And so you keep walking down this path, doing the best you can, trying the best you can do, but it's not up to your liking. And you realize that your lifetime clock is ticking and that you're not going to live forever. You're just not. And you're fully aware that this road of stress and imbalance is not serving you, and that you are wasting your precious time doing it this way and feeling this way. You're not financially happy, and you're not nearly as successful as you'd like to be. Feel that feeling now. Feel the feeling of not being financially happy and not being as successful as you'd like to be. Feel that feeling. How does that make you feel right now? Feel it and make it stronger. And breathe in, and now a deep breath out. Let it out. And so you make a decision that this way of being has got to stop immediately, but you're just not sure how. And then, all of a sudden, you hear a voice. And it's the voice of spirit, the voice that's in your heart, the voice of higher wisdom, the voice of truth. And it speaks very subtly, but very clearly and very powerfully. And it's speaking directly to you right now. And the voice says, it is time for you to choose a new path in life. Go back to the beginning of the fork once again. Do not think, just go. And lo and behold, you're there instantly. The voice says to you, choose the other path now, the right side, for this is the path of money, balance, and control. This is the path of financial freedom. This is the path of creating wealth. The voice tells you to start walking down this path right now. And as you do, you hear this voice following you. And it says, I am the ultimate in kindness and love. And therefore, I will not give you more than you can handle. I will not set you up for further failure. Handle what you have properly, and I will give you more. The voice keeps repeating that phrase again and again. Handle what you have, and you will have more. Handle what you have, and you will have more. Handle what you have, and you will have more. And the vibration of those words resonates deep, deep, deep inside of you to the very core. And you now know its truth, that when you handle what you have, that's when you will be given more. You get it. After all these years, it's perfectly clear. You make a decision, you make a commitment that from this moment on, you will become a good, a great steward of money. And that no matter how much you earn, and that no matter how much you have or you don't have, you will take care of all the money that comes your way. You will not think. You will not mood. You will not whim. You will simply use the simple, powerful JARS system and let that system do the thinking for you. You will divide up all your funds into the proper percentages and use some for necessities, some for immediate play and fun, some to educate and grow yourself, some to save so you can spend on the big things you want. You will invest some to grow your wealth, and you will give some to help others. A beautiful, perfect balance. And you think to yourself, this is simple. This is easy. This makes sense. And you feel good about it. You feel financially competent and financially complete and confident. Now make that feeling of confidence and confident stronger. Competence and confidence stronger. You feel competent around money now. You feel confidence now. Make it stronger. How does that feel? Enjoy it. Competence and confidence. And now, because you are competent and because you are confident, I want you to imagine yourself wealthy. Whatever that looks like for you right now, imagine yourself wealthy. You deserve it. You are financially competent. You are financially confident. And make that feeling stronger. And breathe all this feeling in. And now exhale and breathe it all in again. This feeling of financial competence and confidence and wealth. And if you are now willing to commit to this path, nod your head and say yes. Nod your head physically and say yes out loud. And now with your eyes still closed, touch your heart and say, I am a spiritual millionaire. Say it again. I am a spiritual millionaire. One more time. I am a spiritual millionaire. And feel what this feels like beside you and inside of you. Feel it. You are a spiritual millionaire. You are competent. You are confident. You use spiritual principles to guide you and earthly ones as well. Breathe in, breathe out, and open your eyes. Take a nice deep breath and let it go. Great job, everyone. Great job. Right now, really quickly, I want you to write down the first thing, a single word that describes how you feel right now. A single word that describes how you feel right now. Now what I'd like you to do is I want you to write down the biggest lesson or the biggest aha or the biggest notice or the biggest reminder you had from today's session. Again, you write this down so I can see it and so you can see it, so it makes it concrete and solid for you. And you can then count on it. It'll ingrain differently into your cells of your body, the cells of your spirit. So write down, what was the biggest lesson for you? System gives freedom. Beautiful. There's the 6 jars. It's the habit, not the money. Very good. Balance is important. I don't have to overthink this. In fact, don't think about it. Just do it. If you think too much, you won't do it. If you don't do it, you will end up being broke back where people are. Very good. Very good. The 6 jars, freedom. Beautiful. Magic will happen with this system. I'm telling you, it will. It will. It has for everyone I know who's ever used it. And here's what happens. People say to me all the time, I was on the system. It worked amazing. I don't know, something happened. I started going off. My money started to go downhill really fast. I got back on the system. Bear with. There it goes again and again. Up, 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 up. Very good. Now, last thing I want you to write down. Remember, what's the words? Talk is what? Talk is what? Talk is cheap. Write it in the box. What is one action that you will take in your life as a result of today's session? One specific action. Don't be vague. Don't say, I'm going to start managing my money better. No, it's got to be specific. Write it in the box. Again, so it makes it solid for you. Remember this, buying the jars, it gives you the visual cues and allows you to feel how your money's growing. If you don't want to put cash in there, you don't have to. You can just use the jars and put in the amount of money on a piece of paper or a cardboard. Every single time you put in, it's in your jars every day. Just put the number that you have in that account, the amount of money in that account, in that jar, and just write it down. Okay? Well, guess what it's time for? Homework. Someone says mantra. Very good. Thank you. By the way, I never used to like the word homework until I changed the frame of it, because all my teachers gave me homework. I said, ugh. So this is not homework. This is just work that you do at home on yourself and on your life, for yourself. Work at home for yourself. Here it is. This is the mantra. I want you to repeat this mantra when you arise in the morning, before each meal, and before you go to sleep. And do the mantra 3 times every time you do it. So it's a grand total of 15 times you say these words. It's very simple. I am an excellent money manager. Write that down. I am an excellent money manager. One more time. I am an excellent money manager. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. May I say to you this? So be it. So be it. I hope that you got a lot out of tonight. For a lot of you, it's a reminder, but I think there are some very specific distinctions that were made tonight that I know for me, when I got these distinctions in my life, everything changed. You know, I used to be a crappy money manager, really bad. I hated it. I just because I didn't know. You know, everyone gave me these big charts. Here's just 58 details right out. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I got my 6 jars. I made it up. I got my 6 jars. I decorated them. I at beginning I just used cash. I loved watching those jars fill up. OMG, loved it. It motivated me. That's how I got rich, and that's how you will too. I love you, Aura. I love you so much, and I will look forward to seeing you again and talking with you next week. Bless you all.